Hey guys, Tarkon here, back with another video. It's funny because I know I said in the recent video I was going to do more frequent videos. I was taking a little break there, and then my computer went south on me. Well, at least the battery in the computer went south on me. It started swelling up. So I took it down to a local shop, local affiliate shop, and they said, oh, it's going to take 4 weeks to replace this battery. And I thought, 4 weeks? That seems a little extreme. And then he wanted several hundred for it, and I said, well, okay, I guess if I have no other option. But I decided to think about it. I decided, something inside me said, go home and call some other affiliates in other nearby cities. And I did so. And the other one in a city about an hour away said, oh, we can get that done in 5 days, no problem, 5 business days. I said, well, that's even much better than 4 weeks. So I drove there. I kind of made a day of it. It was nice, it was actually nice weather. It wasn't raining. It was cold but sunny. And I took my laptop and I went on over there, and I thought, oh, I'll explore the city while I'm here a little bit. Walked around, had some lunch, and then I went down to that little store there nearby, and I went up to them. I said, you can really get this done in 5 days? He said, yeah, absolutely. So I left it with them. And guess what? They got it done in 3 days, and it didn't cost me a dime, not a single dime. So they sent me the email saying, hey, your laptop is ready, and the fee for this is $0. And I thought, is that a mistake? So I asked them, is that a mistake? And they said, nope. Turns out the company who makes your computer has had a recall on this particular model. And so yours falls under the recall, so we replaced the battery for free. Not going to cost you a dime. Thanks a lot for your business. And, they were super friendly. And I didn't even know there was a recall going on for them. So, you see, I could have freaked out a little bit. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I could have, in a state of panic and desperation, just left it with the original store, thinking, my computer's going to blow up. I need to do something about this. I'll pay the money. I'll leave it there for 4 weeks. But something inside me told me. I didn't freak out. I didn't panic or get too upset about it. Something inside me told me to go home and call another city store, another one of their affiliates. So, and then boom, there you are. I found the perfect place, the perfect people to work on it, who were going to make sure that I actually didn't have to pay a dime, who did the best job they could. Everything is great now. Everything's fine. There's no more swelling, right? I got a brand new battery, and all for absolutely no cost, no money, except maybe the gas and time it took to drive an hour away to another city. But I had fun doing it. It was a nice little drive. I explored this other place I hadn't really spent much time in. It was kind of fun. And so, you see, there was nothing to worry about. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, every time that you just kind of back up a little bit, especially in emergency situations like this, or what feels like an emergency, and you just kind of kick back and go, okay, wait a minute, I'm not going to freak out. This is what it is. This is the situation. I'm going to accept it for what it is. I'm going to start from this point forward, and I'm going to manifest a solution by not freaking out so much, by not focusing on the problem so much. I knew there was a solution out there. And so by removing myself from the action equation in this case, or taking only the action I needed to take, which was to make that phone call, to then drive out there, okay, that was all inspired action based not on some panic mode I was in or upset mode that I was in, but based on me just kind of chilling out, all right, going downstream and just letting the universe put me in the perfect place and the perfect time, putting me in touch with the perfect people who are going to make this happen in the perfect way, and it didn't cost me anything. So I'm preempting this video with that little story because it's such a cool little manifesting story, and it was a great learning and teaching moment, all right? So next time you find yourself faced with some kind of an issue like this, just remember there's a solution out there, okay? And oftentimes the best way to find the solution, to see the solution, because it's there, it's not that you're creating the solution, it's that the solution is already there. But if you're only thinking and focusing on the problem aspect of it, you're never going to see the solution, okay? Because you're just not on the same frequency as it. You're not aligned with it. The way you align yourself with a solution is to begin to put yourself in a solution mindset, okay? That means acting and feeling on the inside like it's already a done deal. It's already already resolved, and then allowing the prompts from the universe to prompt you to take whatever action you need to take, your inspired and effective action, like calling around other stores. Let's see what they have to say, all right? If I'd been in a panic mode, it wouldn't have occurred to me to do that. I might have had to give my laptop up for 4 weeks and then pay money on top of it, because I think they would have charged me money at that particular branch. So anyway, there you have it, okay? Dissolve the Problem, all right? That's a great title of a great book by Robert Dotz, D-O-T-T-S. If you go to my website, there's a book section there. You can find it there, or just go to Amazon, wherever you buy your books, and check it out, because he talks about exactly that. But that's not what this video is about. Just a little cool little story to share with you guys, and a little teaching moment to share with you guys, okay? So I have a little question from one of the Facebook group members who is asking me, I'd love to see how to manifest a parent back into your life. So this is a parent, not a parent who has passed, but a parent where a relationship has gone south, especially if you've made some mistakes that you feel are keeping them away. So, of course, the first thing to do is to forgive yourself for whatever mistakes you perceive you may have made, all right, that you feel you may have made. And I'm not saying one way or the other that you didn't make mistakes or you did make mistakes. It's your judgment about your actions in the past that are the key here, all right, and your reaction to your own actions in the past that are the key here. And this is the same across the board for any relationship. And really the same principles that you would apply to manifesting an ex back, or any kind of specific person, even for romantic reasons, apply to any relationship. Any relationship that you want to heal, any kind of person that you want to bring back into your life, whether it is a lover or an ex-lover, or a friend, or a parent, a family member, okay? You want to heal and improve your relationships with your co-workers, with your boss, hell, even with your dog, all right? Or your tarantula, I don't know. But the point is the same principles, the same basic ideas apply across the board for any relationship. And really, guys, for anything that you want to manifest, okay? Anything at all, but especially when it comes to relationships with people. I know that that tends to be more tricky, or it seems more tricky, because there's much more emotionality attached to it. There's much more sort of self-judgment attached to it. You see what I'm saying? So what you've got going on here, I think, and of course your question is very short and sweet, but I can see right away, because your focus is on mistakes you have made in the past that may have caused this relationship to go south, or that you perceive you've made in the past, all right? The first thing to do here is to really forgive yourself for that, okay? Because, and again, if it was an ex-lover and you decided, oh, it was me who messed it up, I cheated on them, I lied to them, or whatever it is, and you want them back in your life, you know, in order for them to forgive you, or to make it easier for them to forgive you, there is an energetic component that has to occur, that you have to actually make that step first. You have to forgive yourself first, okay? We all make mistakes, right? None of us are perfect. That's not the point of this and being a human being and all that kind of stuff, okay? We're not striving for perfection. We're going to make mistakes, all right? But the thing about it is, just like what I said with my laptop, okay, you're perceiving it as a problem. You're perceiving this as an obstacle towards you healing your relationship with your parent, all right? And as long as you put your focus on that as being an obstacle, on that problem, that's what's it's going to continue to be an obstacle. Basically, though, you know, if you really think about it, and again, I don't know the details, but the details don't really matter. What matters is your perception of the situation, okay? So likely, as we tend to do with what we perceive to be problems and major obstacles towards some goal that we have defined for ourselves, towards some end result, outcome, or desire that we've defined for ourselves, is that we tend to make a mountain out of a molehill, okay? It's very likely that your parent, I mean, maybe your parent is thinking the same way, that they made some horrible mistakes, all right? Or they're thinking, well, let's let her, you know, let's let her kind of come to us and deal with it and have her process in this. I mean, remember, it's a parent. Parents tend to have a certain kind of way that they look at their children and treat their children, and sometimes they let their children kind of come to them, or, you know, they probably understand you better a little bit than you think they do, maybe even a little bit better than you do, right? So maybe it's not even as big a problem as you think it is. So that the first thing right here for you to resolve is to resolve that part in yourself, okay? To forgive yourself, to say whatever I may have done in the past, it can't be so terrible that it's not fixable, okay? It can't be so terrible that I can't get past this. If I expect them to get past it, okay? Because if they're showing up and saying, well, you did this thing, we can't forgive you for it, or your parent, if it's a single parent that you're talking about, a mother or a father, not both parents, then, you know, the thing about it is, if they're saying that to you, then it's because you're saying that to yourself, right? So they're being you pushed out in that sense. What you do is you make the switch inside yourself. You work on self-forgiveness, okay? And this is, again, what I always say and drive home and harp on. Self-forgiveness is all wrapped up in self-love and self-acceptance, okay, and self-respect. Forgiving yourself for mistakes. Nobody is perfect, okay? Your parents made mistakes. You've made mistakes. Your lovers have made mistakes, okay? Your dog makes mistakes, all right? He eats up your slippers or gets into the cookie jar, whatever it is, okay? Children and parents and lovers and coworkers and friends and neighbors, we all make mistakes. We have to forgive ourselves for those, okay? And so that's the number one step here, I would say. And again, if it was an ex-lover that you wanted back and you had the same attitude about yourself that, oh, I really screwed this up, why would they want me back? Well, as long as you focus in that way, they're not going to want you back, right? Or that aspect of them will keep showing up and reoccurring in your reality. They'll keep reflecting back to you as people who are going to be stubborn in forgiving you, who are going to be difficult in bridging some kind of gap with, okay? But the moment that you take care of that in your mindset, all right? The moment that you forgive yourself, that begins to shift as well. The way they show up to you begins to shift as well. It is an energy. We communicate mostly energetically with each other, okay? It's not even, you know, we think, oh, it's not words, that's for sure, okay? Words are like maybe 5% of how we actually communicate with each other. Then there's like body language, yes, so visual stuff, but what it really is, the real gist of it, maybe 80, 90%, and yes, I'm pulling that number out of the sky. I don't actually have statistics on this, okay? But I'm saying, as a way of saying most of the communication that occurs between us is energetic communication, which is why we can communicate with each other across distances. We do so energetically, okay? So if you want them to release the resistance or forgive you in some way, you have to start by forgiving yourself, okay? Being easier about it. So then the next thing after that is to begin to think of how you want things to be. How does it feel to be back with them? What does that mean to you? All right? Because again, and especially in relationships, but with anything that we might desire, even if it's objects and things like that and circumstances, it has to do with a way that you want to feel. There's a state that you're trying to achieve. And what it is maybe for you, and I can't say this is something you have to decide for yourself, is to really sit down and think about it and peel away the onion layers. What does a healed relationship with your parent feel like? What does that represent to you? Because it's a symbol of something for you. It's something that you've used as a symbol to represent and stand in for a state of mind and a certain state of being and feeling that you're after, okay? Usually if it's a love relationship, a romantic relationship, which most of you guys here on this channel is what you're interested in, most of the time what that is, it can be any number of things, but it tends to range from wanting to feel adored and loved and needed, okay, to wanting to feel passion and adventure and excitement, okay, to wanting to feel security. For those of you that are really focused on marriage and having a house and children and family, oftentimes that's about security. So you take those elements, you kind of, you know, whittle it down to the nut, to the core, right? What's the center of what you're really after? That's the feeling state. Then that's the thing that you reach for as often as possible, okay? So think about what a healed relationship, or just what a relationship with a parent in general represents for you. What does it symbolize for you? Okay, is it security? Is it being needed and wanted? Is it a matter of being nurtured too, being watched over, being protected? Okay, in a parent-child relationship, that's often an element, right? That kind of really plays out in that kind of relationship. So think about that. If you want to feel nurtured and protected and loved by your parent, you have to begin by nurturing and protecting and loving yourself and forgiving yourself, okay? That's how you then begin to project that state outward. And it goes out into that field of infinite possibilities. It goes out into the matrix, if you will, and it reaches everybody out there, okay? Including your parent, all right? So that's really what it comes down to. What is it you want? And when I ask that question, again, I'll reiterate, it's not necessarily, okay, I want to hang out for Christmas with my parent. I want to hang out, and go have lunch with my parent. I want to have a good relationship with my parent. I want to have a healed relationship with my parent. Yes, you want all those things, but what do those things mean to you? What will they feel like when you have them? Okay, so if you can begin to think of scenarios in your mind, all right? Go to the end result, like Neville says, like imagine the thing already being accomplished. But what you want to do is not necessarily just imagine a scene that implies that the thing is finished, okay? Maybe it could be something like, oh, I'm going to have Christmas dinner over there, okay? Or I'm going to go shopping with my parent, or I'm going to go on this thing that we always did together, right? Maybe if I'll go fishing or whatever it is, okay? Yes, but you got to make sure that the scene that you're painting lets you feel that the thing is done, all right? So that's what it comes down to. You have to decide how it is you want to feel. What's the state that you're after? What does a relationship with your parent, a good relationship with your parent, a healthy, loving, mutually respectful relationship where there's no fighting, right? There's not all this past crap that happened. What does that actually represent to you? How do you think that's going to make you feel? This is why you're really after it, okay? So once you decide that, then you can access that feeling anytime that you want through any other means that you want. It doesn't have to come through your parent, okay? Same again if you're after a relationship with an ex or a specific person, a romantic relationship or a sexual relationship. It's the same thing. Decide how you think that thing is going to make you feel. You've used it as a symbol. You've used it as a stand-in for the thing you're really after, all right, which is a state of being. So then once you've identified that, look around in your life where you already have access to that, where you have easy access to that, where you have ready access to that, and then milk those things, okay? Feel that as often as possible, whether the condition that you want is as you want it or not, whether you have the healed relationship with your parent yet or not, okay? This is the part where you kind of ignore the circumstance. If it's not to your liking, you turn to things that make you feel that way already now, that are easily accessible to you. All right, maybe it's a relationship with a sibling. Maybe it's a relationship with a lover, okay, that makes you feel a certain way that you think your relationship with your parent is going to make you feel. Maybe your coworker, your boss, or really the best is with yourself, okay? You become your own parent, your own lover, your own friend, your own boss, your own, your own advocate, all right? And then that lets you have access to those feelings that you're after very easily, okay? But again, it's the feeling that you're after. Practice the feeling. Look around to where you have access to it now. Practice it and milk it as often and for as long as possible. And then when you've done that to the greatest extent that you feel you can, just let it go and go do something fun and don't worry about it anymore. But anytime that you can easily access that feeling, that you can easily go into situations and look around for circumstances and other people and events in your life that are already there that allow you to access that state of being, go ahead and do it as much as possible, okay? And as you practice that, you begin to feel more calm, more at ease, okay, about that situation, about every situation really in your life, every relationship really, but also about that specific relationship, all right? And then when you feel sort of more okay about it, either they'll contact you or you can then at that point from that calmer, more self-forgiving, more self-loving, more compassionate kind of place, maybe contact them, right? And you might get a response that you weren't expecting. You might get a positive response where maybe now you're kind of afraid to contact them because you're expecting a negative response, okay? You want to do the internal work first and then take a step towards them, all right? Because you first take a step towards yourself. You first take a step towards the feeling that you want to achieve, the state of being that you want to achieve, okay? As much as possible. Practice it until it becomes second nature to you, until reaching that feeling will take you a couple of seconds, all right? And then from that standpoint, okay, not the standpoint of feeling panicky about it or nervous about it or or blaming yourself for things that might have gone wrong in the past, or even focusing so much on the past, okay? Because the past, forget it, all right? Stop trying to fix the past. Look towards creating the future, okay? And the way you do that is in reaching for that feeling in the now moment, the feeling that you're after in that future outcome and circumstance, okay? And then from that point, you can take a step or two towards them, okay? And you might find that maybe if you were afraid that they would, not receive you in a positive light, you might be pleasantly surprised and realize that now you've done the internal work and the energetic work, that they're actually going to be much more receptive than what you might have anticipated, okay? And that will begin the process of healing a relationship, all right? Just like with any relationship, it's a process, all right? I've talked to people who've manifested their exes back even, and then they'll go, oh, but then there was a week of no contact. Oh, but now we're in contact again. It's a dance with relationships, especially with people, okay? We are fickle, and so therefore other people are going to be fickle as well, all right? If we are fickle about our feelings and what we're really after, the people that show up in our lives are going to be just as fickle. But allow the process to unfold, okay? Any relationship takes time, especially if you're dealing with a relationship that you want to heal. It's going to take, steps, little steps, okay? Sometimes you'll find you're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, okay? And that's perfectly okay, because that means you're still 1 step ahead from where you were before. All right? So I would say the same principles that apply to any relationship will apply to your situation. You want to heal any relationship with any family member, a parent, okay? Just remember, first forgive yourself, then decide how it is you want to feel. Why is it you really want this thing, okay? And not the obvious answers of, well, why wouldn't I want to, have a better relationship with my mom or dad? Not the obvious ones, the ones that, what does it stand in for you? All right, what does that symbolize for you? What feeling or state of mind does that represent for you? And then you have access to that. That's the power of manifesting and reality creation, all right? That you always have access and control over how you react to things and the feeling states that you reach for, all right? And the more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, the better at it you become, so that you can then begin to see how all these circumstances and events and situations and relationships in your life are actually connected. They have similar themes, and they require the same kind of basic understanding of this process, all right? And the same application of the same basic principles, okay? So, I hope that helps you and anyone out there who had a similar question, who has this kind of situation in their life. If it did, if you like this video, you like the cut of my jib, please hit subscribe if you haven't done so, and please hit the like button. And if you want some coaching with me, that's available. You just follow the links down below in the description box. You will also find 2 links for PayPal and Cash App donations if you want to leave me a donation. And thank you to all of you who've done that. And thank you already for the ones that are coming in. Also, you'll find a link down there for the Facebook group. So go ahead and head over there. There's cool people having discussions, talking about things just like this. And without me necessarily babbling in the middle of it all. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. My computer's fixed now, so everything is rosy and peachy keen. And until next time, guys, I wish you happy manifesting. Take care. Bye-bye.